Going on, Jerome's? So after Justin friggin' Jefferson just dropped the full-on teabag Darjaman blend on the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers, there was chance of MVP resounding around historic US Bank Stadium, and they probably weren't for Kirk Cousins, although Kirk played himself a damn fine game on Sunday. But Justin friggin' Jefferson was just out of this world, and what was amazing is that the Packers allegedly have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and allegedly have one of the best secondaries in the league, and allegedly have one of the best corners in Jar Alexander in the league, and also Eric Stokes ain't no slouch. Rasul Douglas got paid too, and Jefferson, who everyone knew was getting the ball, still got the ball. 9 catches for $184, 2 touchdowns on 11 targets, career high for yardage at 184. He is currently on pace this season, 17 games, for 153 catches, 3,128 yards receiving, and 34 touchdowns, which would be good. It would be pretty damn good. But probably not going to get that, but we can dream, right? And the whole thing about Jefferson potentially winning MVP, it's very tough for wide receivers to even get in the MVP conversation. A wide receiver has never won the award, has never really been close to winning the award, and it's basically the Heisman. It's a quarterback and sometimes running back award, and it sucks, but it sort of is what it is. And basically they just poo-poo wide receivers like, you can be offensive player of the year. It's a joke. So 5 notable wide receiver seasons and their results in terms of MVP and offensive player of the year voting. So now, important to note, MVP votes, OPOY, 50 votes. So AP, 50 votes. That's what it is. So 1995, back in the day, Jerry Rice, 1,848 yards, 10 MVP votes, 10 offensive player of the year votes. Didn't get either of them. 1998, Randy Moss. Now, 1,313 yards receiving, not massive, but his impact, that's what shook things. He still got 4 MVP votes, 6 Offensive Player of the Year votes. In fact, he finished 4th in MVP voting that year. Randall Cunningham finished 2nd. Terrell Davis won it. 2012, Megatron, record-setting 1,964 yards receiving, 0 MVP votes. Goose egg, 0. Amazing, right? 2 Offensive Player of the Year votes. 2. Antonio Brown, 2015, 1,834 yards receiving. Didn't even lead the league. That was Julio that year. But 0 MVP votes, 10 Offensive Player of the Year votes. On 2021, last year, Cooper Kupp, of course, famously won the Triple Crown. 2nd most receiving yards of all time. Yes, aided by the 1 extra game. So 1,947 yards receiving. 1 MVP vote. 1. The rest went to Rodgers. Well, some went to Brady. And then 35 Offensive Player of the Year votes, and he won that award. So it's just a joke. It's just a joke. And part of it is, hey, if you're doing well, the guy throwing you the ball is obviously doing well as well. And it would almost take like one quarterback and then an alien abduction or a benching for some reason, and then the second quarterback. Like, it'd have to be like multiple quarterbacks, and then the receiver just rising up like that. It'd have to be bat bleep insane. But fortunately for Justin Jefferson, he's got Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. And I actually think that the national media jabroni haircut's hatred of Kirk Cousins could work in Justin Jefferson's favor, where Jefferson has this monster season. Kirk is the one throwing him the ball. And all the media are just like, I don't know. We can't vote for Kirk as MVP. It must be Jefferson. So we'll vote for him. But there are a handful of things that have to happen. So here are the 5 things that need to happen for Justin Jefferson to be MVP this year. Number 1, obvious one, he has to win the Triple Crown. He has to at least do what Cooper Kupp did last year, where he led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns at 145, 1947, and 16, respectively. Jefferson certainly has that ability in him. Number 2 thing that has to happen for JJ to be MVP, he's got to break the single-season yardage record, which, like we mentioned, Megatron 2012, 1,946 yards receiving on a very bad Lions team. Is what it is. But he can't just break it. He has to shatter it. He has to go over 2K. He has to go over whatever average Calvin Johnson had in that year by games, 16. He has to do that over 17 games. He has to absolutely just annihilate the record. Over 2K is at least the bar. Thing number 3 that has to happen for Justin Jefferson to be MVP, Vikings win the division. So winning does matter to a degree, and this is a regular season award, and that's all that's voted. So the Vikings, that have to win the division, maybe even secure the 1 seed in the NFC, which they have the potential to do. So win 12, 13 games, and then JJ will be in the conversation. Next up, thing number 4 that's got to happen. He's got to blow up in standalone games. So right now, it's week 2 against the Eagles. It's week 4 versus the Saints at Tottenham. Early morning, wake up with football. Well, wake up with Wembley, except they're not at Wembley. And also Thanksgiving night against the Patriots. And also the Sunday Night Football potential flexes later on in the season. So standalone games, Justin Jefferson has to absolutely put the bang thing on whoever they're playing. So it's the Eagles, the Saints, the Patriots, and whoever is flexed for Sunday Night Football. Even like late window games like against the Cowboys and whatnot, he has to show up, show out, and leave no doubt. He has to... the narrative has to be about him. Like the national media Jerome haircuts have to be talking about him. And you do find this with MVP voters that some of them will try to be punk rock and it's like, oh, we'll try this. We'll vote a little bit differently. And then here's my article about why I voted for Justin Jefferson as MVP. Send. And that could work. Like, I don't care how we get the votes. We're going to get the votes. Lastly, thing number 5 that has to happen for JJ to be MVP. This has nothing to do with him. But Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert, they just have to... Also, Lamar Jackson. So that's what has to happen, where they can't be a clear-cut quarterback who just completely dominates. It can't be a clear-cut running back either, with Saquon or Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, etc. So that's what's got to happen. And it's unfortunate because it's completely out of JJ's control. But even if JJ goes for 2,000 yards, which is possible, if he wins the Triple Crown, which is possible, and Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes has a phenomenal season, JJ ain't going to win. Because it's a quarterback league, it's a quarterback award. It'll be blah, blah, blah. Josh Allen hasn't been MVP, yada, yada, yada. And deservedly so. But it's a biased award against wide receivers. They'll probably throw him bows like, oh, he's Offensive Player of the Year. Or actually what will happen is that Mahomes will be OOP, and then Allen will win MVP, which is just baloney. Just baloney. But, yeah, Jefferson blown up. Great against the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers. Let's do it again. We can start off the MVP campaign. If he goes up against the Eagles, who could have drafted him in 2020, but they took Jalen Reagor, who's now a Viking. So that chip on his shoulder, that hatred of the Eagles, like, I'll show you, F you. I'm going to show up and show out. If he drops 10 catches for 190 or even 200 and 2-3 touchdowns, then we'll have a conversation. Then he'll be firmly in the race. But either way, we know that he's wide receiver 1. He's our MVP, and that's, well, I was going to say that's really all that matters. But no, taking home that regular season trophy for the first time for a wide receiver, just setting records, breaking barriers, all that stuff, is what he should do. And he deservedly so. So maybe it'll actually work out. But your thoughts are thoughts. Can Justin freaking Jefferson actually win the NFL MVP award? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.